Gold Coast Munchies.
Today we're going to make one of my favorite things, donuts. You're going to start with about 7 cups of all-purpose flour. Pour that into whatever mixing bowl you're using and add about 1.5 tablespoons of salt to that mixture. And then about 2 ounces of whatever type of honey you have lying around. Then you can add about 2.5 teaspoons of active dry yeast to the mixture and set it aside. Then in a new bowl, you'll add 2 cups of room temperature whole milk. And an ounce of vegetable oil. And splash a good tablespoon of homemade vanilla extract into the mixture. And another 2 ounces of whatever type of honey you have. Then you can crack in 2 large eggs into the mixture and whisk until everything is fully incorporated. It'll take a bit for the honey to break down and enter the mixture, but it should all come together after a few minutes. Then you'll want to get your dry bowl set up into your mixer and add about 1 stick of butter, slightly melted, just nice and soft, not quite liquid, into the mixture, and incorporate that with your honey and dry mixture. And while that's on low speed, you can slowly start pouring in your wet mixture. I like to do it about a quarter at a time until everything's fully combined and it becomes a nice, smooth dough. Once it all comes together, you can plop that down on a floured work surface and just roll it into a nice looking ball. And plop it into a nicely oiled bowl, cover with saran wrap or a damp towel, and put it in the refrigerator overnight until the next day. Then you'll have a dough like this. I like to start by pushing out all the edges, just slowly forming it into a bigger, rounder, flatter dough. And then you can grab your rolling pin, flattening it to about 1/2 inch. Once it's nice and flat, I like to use a mason jar to cut out my circles. Just firmly press down, give a slight twist, and they should release, and you'll have some nice dough circles to work with. Once all your circles are cut out, take any excess dough, roll it into a ball, flatten it out, and do the same thing again. And after that, any excess dough you still have, I like to just roll into little balls and make some donut holes out of them. Then you'll want to make some holes in your donuts. I like to use anything around the size of a shot glass or so, and just firmly push down in the middle, give a slight twist, and it should come right out. Any excess dough you have from this at the end, I also just roll up into little donut hole balls. Once you have those all cut out, I like to place them on squares of parchment and set aside at room temp for at least a good half an hour while I prepare the frying oil. In this instance, I use canola and heat it up to about 350 degrees or so. Slowly drop the donuts in, moving them around while entering the oil just so they don't stick. Once they float, I like to give them about 3 to 5 minutes or until golden brown until I flip them. Then they'll take another 3 to 5 minutes on the other side. While they're cooking, I like to prepare a drying rack of some sort whether it's a cooling rack or maybe an old pizza box, cardboard, something to help soak up the oil and let it drip off. Once all those are done cooking and on your drying rack, I like to cook off all the donut holes. You can fit a lot more in the pot at once than you can with the donuts, so it shouldn't take too long. They take just about as long as the donuts. You're going to want to throw them in the pot and just keep them moving so they're fully golden all around the donut hole. Once you're done cooking all of those, you can start worrying about what you're going to put on them. There's hundreds of different frostings and glazes you can put on these. Mine is kind of a mixture between the two. Throw about 5 cups of powdered sugar in a bowl. Add a good splash of vanilla extract, a pinch of salt, and 5 ounces of whole milk. You'll then want to heat up about a spoonful of coconut oil, just enough so it melts. Not so it's hot, just so it's melted. And while that's heating, I like to mix my mixture until everything's fully incorporated. Then you can add your liquefied coconut oil into the mixture and mix until that's also incorporated. Now for frosting them, I just use my whisk, but feel free to use a spoon. You could even use a piping bag if you wanted. If you have a silicone baking mat to put underneath this, that would be perfect. I just used a clean work surface, so anything that drips off of these can easily be scooped up with a silicone spatula, put back in the bowl, and you can continue drizzling. And once you have all your donuts covered with this delicious frosting / glaze, give it about half an hour at room temp, and it'll harden, and you'll be ready to eat. Feel free to get creative, maybe throw a little cocoa powder in the icing, maybe a little strawberry nesquick for some flavored options, or maybe just add a couple sprinkles to make them look pretty. Either way, they're delicious as is. I hope you enjoy. Let me know in the comments what's your favorite donut. Like if you like donuts, and subscribe for more recipes.